to the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, highlighting how 22 billion was legally paid as gratuity benefits to 1,502 pensioners. Let's take a look at that.
The 2023-2024 annual audit report centered on implementation of the approved budget, parish development model, pension payroll management, and management of procurements in government. Submitting the report to Parliament, the Auditor General, Edward Akol, noted the unfunded gap of 7.1 trillion in the 2023-2024 budget that affected service delivery across government operations.
My assessment on a sample of 98 MDA's activities for implementation revealed that 47% of the outputs were actually fully implemented, while 51% and 2% of the outputs were partially and unimplemented, respectively.
The report also indicates that in the fiscal year, the external debt has grown by 2.2%. The increase has been driven by borrowing from multilateral creditors,
which has expanded from Uganda shillings 33.06 trillion to Uganda shillings 35.1 trillion shillings.
The report reveals that 1,502 pensioners were paid an excess 22.393 billion gratuity benefits. This happened in 19 MDAs and 115 local governments. The AG notes that if the mess is left untouched, the country projects an expenditure increment by 4.5 trillion shillings annually on gratuity by 2034.
The sustainability of our pension system faces mounting pressure from multiple fronts, such as early retirement policies allowing exits at the age of 45, enhanced pay from science professional, among others.
In regard to the implementation status of the parish development model, Parliament appropriated 1.1 trillion shillings, whereas a lot has been achieved to implement the program. There are still gaps.
These circles also lack registered offices. Some of them implement ineligible projects. There is lack of accountability in certain instances, and then in certain instances also non-existent projects, among others.
The report also shows substantial challenges in the health sector, where government had to write off 316.65 billion shillings debt for COVID-19 vaccines, among others.
There's an increase from last year's 33 billion shillings. This represents a significant waste of resources that could have been saved or utilized given the pressing healthcare needs.
However, the AG noted a slow implementation by accounting officers on the recommendations passed by Parliament.
Out of the 2,803 recommendations made by accountability committees, based on my verification of the Treasury Memoranda, I noted that only 31% of these recommendations were fully implemented.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, assured the Auditor General that accounting officers that don't comply are to be dealt with.
The issue now, the issue of the Treasury Memoranda, we are going to handle it ourselves internally with the accounting officers. And we shall be bringing this to the attention of the leader of government business, that we are going to be very, very tough when it comes to implementation of the recommendations of the Auditor General as adopted by Parliament.
Tayebwa tasked the entity to closely look into the procurement of audit options, especially at the local government, in order to fight corruption. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gwitaminji, Parliament.
Another budget committee of Parliament has tasked the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to address how the different MDAs will generate additional 400 billion to support the supplementary budget presented recently. This was after Minister of State for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, responded to how the supplementary budget to the tune of 1.051 trillion will be funded. Government requests a provision of 152 billion to MDAs and enable the votes collect 400 billion. The supplementary budget, according to Musasizi, are a result of the budget cuts by Parliament in the current approved budget of 72.1 trillion shillings.
To grant it for us.
The Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, told the members of Parliament sitting on the Committee of Budget that the supplementary budget requested by government resulted from the budget cuts during the processing of the budget for financial year 2024-2025.
So when we realized it in June, we said no, this was an error. This was an anomaly.
Musasizi stresses that the non-wage cuts across boards were almost by 30%, which affected some of the votes.
When we came to implementation of the budget, we realized that part of this cut was the lifeblood of these entities.
The supplementary budget being scrutinized amounts to 1.051 trillion shillings. Minister Musasizi calls for reinstatement of the budget cuts after some votes were affected by the recent policy of rationalization, where some MDAs had shortfalls in wage and salaries. But the MPs, led by Chairman of the Budget Committee, Patrick Isiaji, tasked Minister Musasizi to explain how the MDAs will utilize 192 billion shillings requested to generate 400 billion shillings to support the budget.
I don't have a macro person here, the one who works on the projections. I go, sit with the team who projects for us, look at the entities which have committed to give us revenue, we add up and see what can come to. But it can either be higher or lower than the 400 which I presented yesterday. I thank you.
It guides now performance measurement. Otherwise, if we just went with the blanket story, then again we start telling you, yet we are the ones who have just received as it is, then we become part of the problem.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Amina Zawede, also defended the supplementary request of over 11.33 billion shillings for the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. Zawede was accompanied by the UBC Managing Director, Winston Agaba.
So, Honorable Chair and members, I would call upon you to support the notion that UBC ought to be funded. It must be a vote for this country to benefit, the maximum benefit that brings about, we talk about mindset change. Mindset change will happen if we give the fourth estate the due attention it deserves.
So what was the first call on 11.3 billion was wage. So I want to assume now, unless the accounting officer went and did other things, I want to assume that UBC now has wage for the 12 months in this financial year.
The whole of it is divided. You know, procurement of equipment plus installation and all that is 11.33 billion. Yes, the wage is separate.
So wage is not in this 11.33?
It is not.
So it has not come yet?
We are in the 7th month of the year and they don't have any wage. Are your staff being paid? I'm sure the staff are not being paid. They are very demotivated. This has been a recurring problem for UBC. And I think we should help UBC solve this issue.
Meanwhile, some MPs want government to consider prioritizing the items which were dropped during the revision of the budget for financial year 2024-2025 after the President returned the Appropriation Bill 2024 and Parliament harmonized with the Executive. Minister Musasizi responded, saying the negotiation will depend on the budget process as being handled by Parliament.
We are saying now we are saying that period passed. Where should we put those other items that were dropped in the last budget?
Okay.
Can we hear from the minister?
Schools, ambulances, and the others. So what do you plan there? Since you are in the same country. Even Rwanda is part of that.
Our budget process is consultative in nature. And that is why I'm here, to consult you and seek your approval with recommendations.
When it comes to that time, let us prioritize those items. Come 2025, 2026.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Almost all of them except Muni.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has called on investors worldwide to explore business opportunities in Uganda and Africa at large, which today offers a wide array of investment prospects across various sectors. He highlighted that Uganda's economy is growing rapidly but requires a catalyst, particularly in the form of value addition to its products, to further accelerate its transformation. President Museveni was among several African and international leaders who attended the opening ceremony of the 4th edition of Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2025 at the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Center. The theme of this year's event was the Nexus of Next, Supercharging Sustainable Progress.
In his address on the topic Transforming Uganda in a Rising East Africa, President Museveni took delegates through Uganda's journey of economic recovery, which involved reversing the country's reliance on the three core commodities, 3 Cs, that is coffee, cotton and copper, and the 3 Ts, tobacco, tea and tourism. He emphasized the importance of promoting the growth of coffee, tea and expanding the tourism sector.
I want to thank His Excellency, President of the UAE, for inviting me a number of times and coming here with my delegation to participate in discussing.
He further noted that the government of Uganda diversified the economy by commercializing new products.
Uganda now is classified as a lower middle income country. It will, however, rapidly grow into a high middle income country and eventually into a first world country. To achieve these goals, as already stated, we needed to add value to the large spectrum of our agricultural raw materials: coffee, bananas, fruits, cotton, oil seeds, cassava, maize, tea, dairy, beef, poultry products, fish, forest products, sugar, etc.
The President expressed his heartfelt thanks to the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, for inviting him to the summit, and reflected on the significance of having a large community for the products produced in Uganda and Africa. Such markets, according to Museveni, they are crucial for the prosperity of the people across the continent.
A third generation anti-colonial freedom fighter from Africa attending this gathering, I cannot end my remarks without commenting on the chaos and criminality that has been going on in the world, but in particular in the last 600 years. All sorts of criminalities have been committed by bankrupt, greedy, evil, but also ignorant actors.
President Museveni assured investors of the vast and growing regional markets, which will not only absorb their manufactured goods, but will also ensure the sustainability of their investments.
We therefore invite investors from the world to come and help us to do this rapid transformation of our economy and society, as they also benefit because the internal rate of return in Uganda is 14.1%. This is when we still have high transport costs and also some high cost of electricity. Once we build the railway, a modern railway to the ocean, the internal rate of return will be much higher than this.
The President further praised the leaders in the East African Community and Africa for their clear vision of supporting strategic policies aimed at ensuring the prosperity of their people.
How would the Ugandan economy grow if we did not have the East African market? If we did not have the COMESA market? COMESA is Common Market of Central and East Southern Africa. And the wider African market under the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area. I would like, therefore, to assure investors from outside that the Africans have already laid down a lucrative market for investment by having a common market, the CFTA of the whole of Africa. When we invest in Uganda or any brother African countries, you have the assurance of this huge and growing market.
The President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, also addressed the summit on the topic from climate imperatives to economic prosperity, bringing Africa into the future of global energy. The Nigerian leader emphasized his country's commitment to sustainability, focusing on the three pillars of energy transition, climate resilience, and the shift to cleaner energy.
Now, head of the State House Investors Protection Unit, Audit Report, has emphasized the potential of the business process outsourcing BPO sector in addressing youth employment in Uganda. BPO is a subset of outsourcing that involves the contracting of the operations and responsibilities of a specific business process to a second-party service provider. Canon Nakalema made the remarks while meeting BPO stakeholders at State House Investors Protection Unit offices in Kampala. Another discussion focused on actionable plans to harness BPO's potential to reduce unemployment and empower young people.
My contribution in whatever we shall be discussing is mobilization. Mobilizing these young people who are talented in different skills, in different aspects of life. My request will be you providing training. If it were possible, that training would be free. If it is possible. But if it's not, then you will guide me on how to mobilize those that can pay moderately the cheapest possible. Because we have many young people who have studied, who are talented, who are willing to work but have no push and no guidance on where to go for them to earn and even using their skills. One that has gone up to university can have an area in BPO and now the global, now all this. Even S6.
How you speak to a client, relationship management. That if within government we create that demand for BPOs, it means that we're going to outsource some of our functions. And these functions are going to be taken on by private companies. Private companies will employ more people to be able to do those jobs.
But there are two demand angles to clarify. There's in-country, whereby we generate demand. For example, a policy could be passed in government and say, let government outsource its call centers, let it outsource data analysis, let it outsource document handling. See, by just that pronunciation, you find that we are creating another 10,000 jobs. Okay? By just saying, let this be outsourced and it's not handled. So in that, government policy can drive demand.
We are also talking about creating a platform where we shall be providing access to young entrepreneurs to facilitate the networking, mentorship, and the resources to help them to grow. So this is not only the platform for the young ones, but it also for the people who can contribute to be a mentor.
We have to build our talent. We need to expose them to these changing technologies. When you go to Makerere, you finish your Makerere, most likely you probably not had much exposure with the actual applications. So that is the additional training that they need to be able to know how to use the technologies that are in their hand. The good thing is now with the emerging technologies like AI, things are becoming a little bit much more easier. You don't need to be so technical. But in the past, you need to know how to do some software development and stuff like that for some of the work. So those are some of the things that which we need to upskill them, what we call the upskilling. So you pick up someone from the university, then they need to be exposed to those actual practical projects that can help them to understand how it works.
And Forum for Democratic Change FDC President Patrick Amuriat is concerned over the limited time allocated for the update of the voters' register. Amuriat argues that the 21 days are not enough for the Electoral Commission to achieve the intended targets. While addressing the press at the party headquarters, Amuriat announced that the party will fully participate in 2026 general elections.
The president of the Forum for Democratic Change, Patrick Amuriat, says that the 21 days meant for the update of the voters' register is not sufficient. He says the Electoral Commission should consider allocating more time to ensure every citizen is able to exercise their right to vote.
This exercise, as I have said before, involves registering new voters and updating voter details. Of course, no change of voting area by those who may be interested to do that, changing their polling stations. We strongly believe that a voter registration and update exercise of this magnitude requires at least 2 months. You know, we are looking at about 18 million voters in the next election.
The Forum for Democratic Change Najanankumbi faction will in the 2026 general elections front candidates in all available positions to be contested for. The FDC presidential flag bearer will be elected in June this year.
And we have embarked on strategies intended to enhance the performance of the party in all elective positions. We intend to field candidates in all available positions to be contested for.
President Amuriat has urged former party members to return to their party after a series of engagements.
I am therefore, on behalf of top management, inviting all our former members to feel free and return home to their party. And by the way, they are coming in their hundreds, which is a good thing for us. I think very soon they will be coming in their thousands.
The party is to commence with regional outreaches and campaigns to enhance their mobilization efforts. Kayen Faith, Winnie Mukisa for UBC.
And Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has condemned the continued misuse of government offices by a section of officials, warning that tough actions will be taken against errant staff. Addressing a land meeting in Mubende district, Nabakova has been surprised to be informed about the continued cases of bribery and corruption in most government offices in the area.
The Lands and Housing Minister Judith Nabakova has put on notes all government employees in the Mubende district that the government will have no compromise to corrupt officials, but rather take tough actions against them, including arrests.
If a staff solicits money from the public because of a service, they will be taken on. They are not different from any other government official. Once evidence is produced and it is confirmed beyond reasonable doubt that they were soliciting money, the courts of law will take action. I will just forward their cases to police.
Nabakova has issued this warning during a communal baraza in Mubende district after residents pinned a section of zonal and government officials for denying them services on account of demanding for tokens.
This is a warning to all the staff under Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development that you are in those offices to serve the people.
At this meeting convened at Mubende National Teachers College, a section of local leaders, including members of parliament, graced the baraza.
We have agreed to continue with the sensitization so that the leaders can be empowered to help their communities. We have seen Mubende has issues of public land. I have clearly told them how public land is supposed to be managed, but I have also told them to begin on a way of recovering some of those pieces of land where people who got it did not take possession or did not use those pieces of land.
Mubende is one of the hotspots where residents continue facing the roughness of land disputes and forceful evictions. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
And the British Embassy has pledged to strengthen collaboration with Buganda Kingdom in improving the welfare of the people with a particular focus on the youth and women. In a similar effort, both parties are committed to working together to ensure the preservation of the environment, which continues to face growing challenges. This message was conveyed by the British High Commissioner to Uganda, Lisa Chesney, during her courtesy visit to the Buganda Kingdom headquarters at Buganda-British, where she met with the Katikiro Charles Peter Mayiga.
The British High Commissioner to Uganda, Lisa Chesney, visited Buganda's Katikiro Charles Peter Mayiga at the Kingdom's headquarters at Buganda-British. The High Commissioner was warmly welcomed by the Buganda Minister for Lands and Housing, David Mpanga. The two leaders engaged in a closed-door meeting that lasted for more than an hour. Following the meeting, Katikiro Mayiga guided the High Commissioner on a tour of various areas within the Bulange building, including the Buganda Luchiko and Buganda clans, among others. Katikiro Mayiga addressed the media about the visit, emphasizing that it was aimed at strengthening the Buganda-British relationship.
I'm sure you recall that the Duke of Edinburgh, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, was here in March, and we executed a memorandum of understanding with the Kingdom, between us and the Duke of Edinburgh Ward, which focuses on skilling the youth, empowering the youth, mentoring the youth. And you must be aware that Sabasajja Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutabi II dedicated his entire reign to the youth. So the Duke of Edinburgh Ward and the Kabaka's programs rhyme, and we felt that it would be very good to work with His Royal Highness to ensure that we equip with the youth with skills which are likely to prove very important for them as they grow up. He also talked about many other issues, especially for developing the youth, the women, economic empowerment, and we shall continue working with the new British High Commissioner to ensure that these programs are carried through, to ensure that there is social and economic development in the country.
The British High Commissioner, Lisa Chesney, expressed her commitment to collaborating with the Buganda Kingdom in preserving and protecting the environment.
That we have between our two countries and our two areas here are incredibly strong. And it's not just grounded in history. We've talked today about interests that we both really care about, whether that's youth, whether that's women's employment, whether that's protecting the environment, and importantly, economic opportunities. So very much looking forward to conversations to come.
The High Commissioner was accompanied by several dignitaries from the British Commission. Amnavka Farid and Andrew Sebida.
And with that, to take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered the draw to win school fees.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
This is so much smoke. How you doing? My friends told me about an affordable solution. They're called Greenergy BioStove. Very clean and very safe. Let me call them right away.
Wow, can you believe these things are in just 45 minutes?
Greenergy ethanol stoves and fuel. Enjoy cleaner, healthier and affordable cooking. Cook your food in less than 2,000 shillings per day. No charcoal. Stop deforestation. We are looking for agents across Uganda. Greenergy, Bible Corner.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedi za internet eza waggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet, intaneti ensukulumu eri buli maka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug kasali Wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. The Parliamentary Committee on ICT and National Guidance has commended the Uganda Institute of Information and Communications Technology for implementing programs and projects that address key challenges faced by the public. This was revealed by Tony Ayo, the Member of Parliament for Kwania constituency and chairperson of the Parliamentary ICT Committee, during a tour of UICT to assess the implementation of government-funded projects and programs.
The Uganda Institute of Information and Communications Technology, UICT, has greatly benefited from government budgetary support and sponsorships, which have contributed to a notable increase in student enrollment at the institute.
Chair and members, we have overperformed on our targets. It's not because we underset targets, but we use ingenious ways and partnerships and innovations to be able to perform this way. Number one, we set out to certify 80 participants in specialized ICT training that we have certified 89 by the half year. We also set out to graduate 300, but we have graduated 952. This was in last year.
However, there is a need for additional funding to improve the infrastructure in order to support the growing number of students.
We need newer equipment that can keep up to breast with the new technologies. We have equipment, but which is fairly old.
The Parliamentary Committee on ICT and National Guidance has confirmed that the programs are being implemented. However, there is a clear need for greater promotion of the programs and projects being produced.
They are able to develop a program with the Japanese IT government and corporation that we have to train to skill people on the skills that are relevant, that are required, that are employable, so that we have a projection of in 3 years, we are supposed to have 5,000 people here skilled in IT, and they are going to be employed to work with the Japanese IT companies, but virtually from here. So in terms of providing employment to young people, this is what we are promoting. And we have realized a lot of things are being done at this institute, but they are not making the world to know.
Winnie Ainebabas Katwire and Juma Samba for UBC.
And it's been pomp and glamour as friends, family and relatives gathered in Gulu City to celebrate the 65th birthday anniversary for National Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, General Saleh. The well-attended event raised close to 1.5 billion shillings as a birthday gift, and this was donated to Little Sisters of Immaculate Foundation.
Excellency, you're most welcome.
The 65th birthday anniversary for the Operation Wealth Creation National Coordinator, General Kaleba Kandanaho, alias Salim Saleh, has brought Gulu City to a standstill as guests from all walks of life gathered at his country home in Gulu to join in the celebration. The birthday day boy, General Salim Saleh, is a former battle commander, peacemaker, and now a development crusader.
Very honored to be here to celebrate your 65th birthday.
At 65 years, many have stepped forward to celebrate a man who has created a positive impact for Uganda and many individuals.
The Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, the Lord make his face shine upon you. The
celebrants included friends, workmates, statesmen, battle comrades and the business community.
For us in the UPDF, you remain the most perfect example of courage, military brilliance, and sacrifice. We thank the Almighty God for the heroic life of service to Uganda and Africa.
We hear General Saleh left the barracks with a signaler, landed in a camp of UPDA, Odongla Tech, negotiating peace without even the knowledge of commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief, we were dead.
For Ministers General David Muhoozi, Norbert Mao, Fiona Nyamutoro, and retired Major General Jim Muhwezi joined in the celebration.
So finally, I want to stand before these people and thank you for leading the war on food security in this country. But also I want to thank you for combining compassion with charity.
Moved the uniform, but continued fighting. He doesn't have to explain his military capabilities. The National Resistance Army, while it was still a guerrilla army, gave him the assignment to draw the plan of attack for Kampala, the final assault.
General Saleh, 65 years of a lot of work, starting at 14 years in the struggle. It's not how many years, but it's what you do in those years. And you have done a lot.
The family is equally delighted for having been part of his noble journey.
We honor you, our parents, and we cannot ever fill your shoes.
He's a good man. He has protected us. He know our elder brother is a very serious man. He is always putting us at firing squad, but he has been standing by our side. Thank you, General. We shall not disappoint you.
The Foster's retired general is thankful to God for their life and times.
So for me, I'm grateful to these two men and their committees, and for all of you who have been able to come and attend this birthday function.
The event raised close to 1.5 billion shillings as a birthday gift, and this was donated to Little Sisters of Immaculate Foundation. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
And the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has officially launched the 7th edition of its student scholarship program for the 2025 intake. This scholarship offers comprehensive financial support covering all related expenses, including registration, annual studentship fees, examination fees and study materials. A total of 10 slots are available for eligible applicants. And now it's time for us as the East African community to learn of whom we shall play when the African Nations Championship finally gets underway in August. Over to the Kenya International Convention Center right now.